everyone, and welcome back to Random Acts of Squirrel. Today is act number 21. When life gives you lemons and you're tired from making lemonade. So, for those that have been following me, it's been about a week or so since I've actually recorded anything, maybe a little bit longer. I looked at the calendar, looked at release dates, and it has been a while. So for those that miss me, I do actually appreciate that a lot. For those that are watching this in the future, I guess time kind of flows through, you don't really notice it. In the last week or so, it's been kind of weird. It all kind of started back when Digital Girl and I got back from the trip. And I came into work and things just kind of felt weird. Another positive thing is there was some positive changes in our home life too. So life just kind of went topsy-turvy, not always in a bad way, but definitely a lot of changes. And then work is the part that's probably the bigger thing that I'm chewing on now. Home was interesting because it's just readjusting to where we were and how do you play nice with each other, that kind of thing. But that was all flowing well, and so this weird feeling got inside of me that as home life got more stable, my life has never been completely stable. There's always something it feels like that's kind of deciding to disrupt the whole thing. So it feels more like, I can't remember the game. Topple, that's the game. And for those old enough to remember, Topple was this board game. It was a game with physical pieces and these little caroms or plastic pieces. It was on a board that looked like Hubert, which makes me look even older, but it was like a pyramid with circles on it. You'd roll the dice, and then you put your pieces on it. And the trick was, at least initially, before my brothers and I got to it, we would turn it into something else. In a second, I'll tell you that. The idea is that you put your pieces, and the trick was to be the one who didn't topple the board. The person who toppled the board was the loser. Every once in a while, we got to the point that we were trying to see how fast we could topple it, but maybe that ties in later, I'm not sure. And then a couple days ago, life went really weird because about 2 days before that, Digital Girl found out that there was a new tour for New Kids on the Block. Why not? Sounds like fun. And so I was kind of planning for that. Work was getting kind of weird. And then she had a follow-up procedure for something else that had happened before when she almost ended up leaving the world early, but she didn't. So they were following through to make sure everything was right. So it's not high drama, but it's enough to keep life interesting. And kind of everything hit that morning all at once. And it was supposed to buy tickets, which that got done eventually later. And they had a meeting that I heard about the day before, but with me going to the medical procedure, which fortunately was just tedium, it was she got in there and then making sure she had the coffee she wanted afterwards, and then just kind of being patient, which isn't always my strongest suit, thus Random Acts of Squirrel. 6 hours, 7 hours of sitting in the waiting area at a hospital is never any fun. And I guess I'm bearing it because this is the part that's hard for me. Because of market, because of life, because of work, whatever it is, I was one of the 40% of people who got covered or who found out that I was unemployed, and I got a severance package, and I'm going, this sucks. And the hard part for me is I hadn't told Digital Girl any of this because things were getting better at home. I knew with some of her medical stuff, she needed time to adjust to things. So I had no problem carrying that weight, but there was weight there, and I had to carry it. And what probably upset me most was discovering all of that 2 hours before she goes to the medical thing. So you have to carry it a little bit longer, but felt guilty actually because I like to be open and honest with her, but I like to have an answer, and I didn't really feel like I had an answer. I think there's a point. I think honestly, I didn't want to do this video, but I talked to a couple people who saw videos, and they were like, you need to do this because it's honest. He didn't want to see fairy tales. He wants to see truth, and this is where I'm at. And fortunately, everything went good. I mean, I got the tickets that we wanted. We're pretty close to where I wanted them. The procedure went well. She's healing really good. So for those that know who Digital Girl is, you can take a lot of solace knowing she's healing better. Both physically, mentally, emotionally, she's in a better place than she's probably been in some ways before. So that kind of leads to the lemons part that I'm going to tie up with. And then work kind of happened, and to be honest, it felt a little better than I planned on. I discovered that I got a lot of references I didn't plan on. I noticed as I left, everyone was truly upset that I was gone. I was able to start building connections so I can get to the next place that I need to. So I really didn't have anything to complain about. Plus, I was still in caregiver mode. I was still in caretaker mode, whatever you want to say there, where you watch out for people and you don't worry about what you thought. And then the next day hit, and everything's kind of calmed down. She was coming down from it's not super invasive, but she's very hypersensitive, so like she felt everything. And it had to feel weird and awkward, and it exhausted her. And it gave me time to process, like, all the highs of getting a ticket. It gave me time to process exactly what happened. I discovered I wasn't mad or, like, angry, and I didn't want to, like, go postal, as the old phrase used to be. I was just exhausted. And for, like, ever since, let's see, 3-4 days ago, where I wanted to make this, the whole thing that I said there, if you catch on it, notice it's not when you're tired from or tired of making lemonade, it's tired from making lemonade. The last 3 years have just been obnoxious. I think other people use better words, but I didn't notice it until I got let go to this. It had been like a year and a half, and I was finally feeling stability, and finally feeling like I had to stop. But even that had a lot of pivoting. And it was pivoting with home life, and it was pivoting with this, and pivoting with that. And I get that this is life. But sometimes I looked around and felt like other people don't have to do this the way I am. And I just wanted to honestly make videos to people and talk about silly movies and books I read and the cool history of this artist or whatever it is. And I didn't want to make that video. I didn't want to make this video. But I wanted to be real, and so I kept saying, well, what if I do this happy video, or what if I put it in a series of Americana songs, and then I can be honest without having to be straightforward and tell you everything. And I kept running with thoughts like 3 or 4 books, like this would be awesome, I finish this book, and I'll do that, and the same, tired of making lemonade, tired from making lemonade kept running through my head. There's a song from a group called Uncle Tupelo. I really like it. I really like them. One half broke off from Wilco, then there's a lesser half I like, which shouldn't surprise anyone at this point in time. And they're called Sunbolt, and I absolutely like this. But the one song is called Whiskey Bottle. And I don't drink, but I love the sentiment behind it, which is whiskey. And at some point he says, whiskey bottle before Jesus. Not forever, just for today. And that's where I was at. I'm not ungrateful. I have a huge circle of friends around me. I have this wonderful net that's looking out for me. Even depending how religious you want to get, it fell where I can deal with this. It's not too much to deal with. It's just really, again, and you just get exhausted and you feel like, what have you done to get to this point? Why is it you that's always going through this? And I don't know if that's a fair way to think about it. I know it's a human way to think about it. Because ultimately, I'm not ungrateful. I'm not unhappy. And I think the connections are going to put me in a better place. Probably after this, I'll find a job that will pay better because I have a year and a half more experience. But it's the getting there. And it's maybe giving yourself a day, like on that song. Not forever, just for today. And then realizing you have to get up and do it. And life is not fair, and sometimes it sucks. And so you just find those 2 or 3 other people that can help lift you up and let you bitch as you go forward. I think at some point, maybe Digital Girl told me, says, I whine like a mule. And she's not wrong. I like to whine when I'm doing stuff. But I also work like a mule. Mules are known for being really hard. They can throw a pack on them and they go. And they may bray and whine, but they will eat the crabgrass and they will go up the hill and they'll do what's required and they'll get it done. So that's what I have to do. If I'm gonna whine like a mule, I have to work like a mule. I have to be open to the gratefulness underneath all the chaos. I have to get up and try again because no one's going to save me. And to be honest, normally I like to wrap a pretty bow on this stuff. I have no bows for you tonight. I have no bows for you today. Other than life sucks. It's okay to have it suck, I think. But even that I don't think is a good enough bow. I think the getting up is important, but that doesn't feel like a good enough bow. It mostly just feels like the video that I think needs to be out there. And I think it will mean something, but it will get me through to the next one that I want to make. So if the tone's a little somber, I do apologize. I like to come in a little bit at least positive, neutral. Thank you for watching if you are. I do have, I guess, a bad bow, but for those that have been watching and have watched multiple times, I really love that you have been. I had an idea. And growing up, they had these books. They were called Choose Your Own Adventures. And I love them. I thought they were kind of cool. You kind of flip through, and you'd read up to a point, and feel like you're driving down the road, and there's the one that I always had. It was called The Race Forever. And it'd be like, you look at your map, and you look out in this horizon, and one path looks right, and the other path looks wrong. Which one do you take? And then somewhere along the way, they just have different things set up. So you could essentially make your own book every time. So I am going to do this. Maybe this is the book. It is going to be a choose your own video. These are a couple ideas I'm floating through right now. The first one is, let me sneak around so this looks funny. Clutter Discord. They had a big sale at our, I don't exactly know why, at the bookstore, are at Down in the Valley, so much love to Down in the Valley. And I picked up a hard copy of Denzel Curry's Melt My Eyes. Listen to that. Was blown away. Love to do a review on that. Option 2 would be Novel Formations. I finished up a book while I get plasma called Saints Behaving Godly. It's a story of different saints and gives you an honest picture of where they started and what they turned into, how they got there, that kind of stuff. I really like it. Option 3, I was one of the $130 million that went and saw Five Nights at Freddy's about 2, 3, 4 years ago. Some of them are probably closer to 2 years. I was also one of the people that rented Willy's Wonderland, which stars Nicolas Cage and is very similar in nature to it. So I thought it'd be fun to do sort of a cage match or a battle on that in a review. Or if none of these sound cool to you and you are a regular watcher, any better idea you have that I could extrapolate for 15 minutes on, because I'm all for good ideas. And maybe your idea is better than mine, and I'd be curious to see if I can start taking that and seeing where life takes it. So, if you like what you saw, if you like the choose your own video thing, go ahead and make a comment on the bottom of the comments. Say if it's Denzel Curry, option A will be option A is Discord, which is Denzel Curry. Option B, of course, is the book, Saints Behaving Badly. Option 3 is Five Nights at Freddy. Or option D, which is your really good idea. Go ahead and put that in the comments on the bottom. I'd love to hear what you're thinking, what you think would sound awesome. Also, if you have been watching a couple times and haven't subscribed, that would make my day, put a smile on my face while I get to go look for a job, which I'm really not looking forward to. I think that's everything. Everyone have a good day, and I hope your day is going better than sort of the mental chaos of mine right now. Thank you.